Let's start with the elephant in the marbled mafia office. Is the Godfather sexist? Well, some folks think so, and not without reason. Women barely speak. They get sidelined, slapped, or straight up ignored. It's a film swimming in testosterone, cigars, power plays, loyalty oaths, whispers in the dark, and sure, it can feel like one long, moody brooding session with gunfire. But here's the twist. This isn't about glamorizing a man's world. It's exposing it, the toxic rituals, the rot. And some of that comes from the setting itself. The Godfather unfolds in a very specific culture and era, mid-20th century Italian-American families where patriarchy wasn't just a vibe, it was the law of the land. Women were expected to be quiet, faithful, and invisible behind the men who called the shots. So maybe it's not simply sexism for the sake of screenwriting, but a reflection of the world these characters lived in. Is it fair? No. But it's accurate. And that's the point. So maybe it's not sexist. Maybe it's a cautionary tale about the cost of power, dressed in a silk suit and served with a side of cannoli. Let's break it down. Welcome to Real Talk, where we spill the tea on movies and all the madness in between, with wit, sass, and zero sugarcoating. That first scene with Bonacera isn't just setting the mood, it's laying out the Godfather's whole worldview. I believe in America. And just like that, we meet Bonacera, an immigrant who put his faith in the justice system. He plays by the rules, pays taxes, runs a funeral home, believes the American dream will protect his daughter, until America lets him down. His daughter is brutalized by two men, and the justice system gives them a slap on the wrist. So Bonacera turns to Don Vito Corleone, Marlon Brando. Bonacera doesn't just ask for help, he tries to buy it, offers cash, tries to keep things transactional. Don Vito is offended. He doesn't want Bonacera's money. He wants respect, obligation. He wants that ring kissed. And when Bonacera finally does, that's not just etiquette, that's a blood oath. The ring kiss changes everything. It says, I owe you now, and one day you'll collect. Bonacera wants those men dead. Don Vito refuses. No, you don't ask me to kill, not on my daughter's wedding day. And boom, just like that, we're in it. This conversation sets the tone. Justice is personal, favors come with strings, and family is currency. Then we see it again. Don Vito won't take the wedding photo until Michael arrives. The message? Family isn't just important, it's sacred. Power isn't about noise, it's about knowing when to be silent. Don Vito makes it crystal clear he won't do business in drugs. He believes the judges and politicians in his pocket will bail if he crosses that line. And that tells us everything about the man. He's not squeaky clean, but he has a code. We meet his three sons, each a different flavor of chaos. Sonny, the eldest, is all fists and no chill, hot-headed, impulsive, and doomed by his temper. Fredo? Let's just say he's not exactly built for the family business. When their father gets shot, Fredo fumbles so hard he can't even hold a gun. And Connie, the only daughter, is in a tragic spiral, married to a man who abuses her and helps set up Sonny's murder. But she still yells at Michael for killing him. Girl, priorities. And then there's Michael, Al Pacino, the golden child, the war hero, the one who told Kay, Diane Keaton, "That's my family, Kay. It's not me." But then his father's gunned down, and Michael flips. One hospital visit, one close call, and suddenly he's all in. He volunteers to take out Sollozzo and McCluskey. The college boy becomes a killer. It's not just a plot twist, it's a moral collapse in real time. From there, the descent is fast. He flees to Sicily and marries a local girl, Apollonia. Love at first sight. She's his first wife, the traditional Italian type, just like his mother, obedient, loyal, no questions asked. Exactly what he needed in that moment of transformation. Then boom, car bomb. She dies. Back to New York. He marries Kay, becomes the Don, and by the end, he's colder than a hitman's stare. Michael goes from, "That's not me," to "It's only business" real quick. Let's not skip over Johnny Fontane, the crooner with mobbed-up connections, widely believed to be based on Frank Sinatra. In the film, Johnny's career is flailing. He begs the Don for help landing a movie role. Cue the horsehead. Sinatra allegedly got help landing his big breakout role too. Coincidence? Hollywood has thoughts. Not a Corleone by blood, but absolutely family. Then there's Tom Hagen, Robert Duvall, the adopted consigliere, smart, steady, cool under pressure. He's the guy you want whispering in your ear when everything's on fire. Tom delivers the eerie message to Hollywood producer Jack Woltz. Mr. Corleone is Johnny Fontaine's godfather. Italians regard that as a very close, a very sacred religious relationship. Woltz laughs it off. Bad move. Next morning, his prized stallion's head is in his bed. Message delivered, loud and bloody clear, and his absence in The Godfather Part 3? Brutal. Duvall didn't return because he wanted pay equal to Al Pacino, and the studio said nope. So they killed off Tom off-screen. And honestly, the film felt it. Hard. Without him, the soul of the Corleone operation was missing. Part 3 tried to move on without its consigliere, but let's be real, it wasn't the same without the calmest guy in the room. And now, the book. Oh my god. The Godfather movie came from Mario Puzo's novel, which, yes, had all the juicy mob drama. But also, it's messy. Like, should I be reading this on public transport? Messy. The writing is clunky, the pacing is pure soap opera, and the detours? Wild. Like the pages and pages about Sonny's mistress, Lucy. Not just the affair. No. We're talking deep anatomical analysis. According to the book, Lucy and Sonny were a match made in pelvic heaven. Sonny had a, generous situation down south, and Lucy had a medical-level accommodation issue that turned into a whole subplot. Surgery, size, and way too much info. It's a side quest no one needed. None of that made the movie. Thank God. But weirdly, it worked for the book-buying crowd. It had everything your average 70s reader craved. Gangsters, family drama, betrayal, steamy sex, and a dash of unhinged gynecology. Pure pulp fiction with a killer core. Even Francis Ford Coppola wasn't sold on the book. He called it sleazy and sensationalist, and only took the project for the money. But once in, he elevated the material. Big time. Coppola trimmed the trash, leaned into the Shakespearean family tragedy, and gave us cinema gold. The haunting score, the moody lighting, the unforgettable performances. And suddenly, pulp fiction became prestige. So yeah, The Godfather was born from a trashy, slightly horny novel and became a towering classic. Is it sexist? Maybe. Is it a masterpiece? Absolutely. It's not just a movie. It's a myth, a moral reckoning, and a cautionary tale wrapped in a monogrammed handkerchief. Don Vito, played by Marlon Brando, is considered one of his most iconic performances, and rightfully so. He won the Academy Award for it. Brando was only 48 at the time, but he physically transformed himself into a man in his 60s. That unforgettable jaw, tissue paper stuffed in his cheeks. That deep, husky voice. A creative choice rooted in the character's backstory. Don Vito had been shot in the throat in his youth. And now, people still love to imitate that growl every chance they get. Don Vito wasn't just a mob boss. He was a patriarch. He ran his empire from a family dinner table. Kids running around, wives chattering, babies crying in the background. And he never flinched. In fact, he thrived in it. He had his own strict moral code, especially when it came to loyalty and family. He was a loving husband and a devoted father. That contradiction, the killer with a heart, made him unforgettable. If The Godfather were a religion, the quotes would be its commandments. Let's be real, men didn't just watch this movie, they memorized it. They don't cry, but they quote The Godfather like it's scripture. These lines weren't just dialogue, they were life rules. Lessons on business, betrayal, family, fear, and revenge, all wrapped in Brando's whisper growl. I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse. Is it a threat? Is it a promise? Yes. It's become the gold standard of persuasive power, with just the right amount of menace. Never tell anyone outside the family what you're thinking. That's the OG protect your peace before TikTok made it trendy. And let's not forget this gem. Women and children can be careless, but not men. Yeah, this one is controversial as hell. Misogyny in a suit, yes, but also a brutal peek into the impossible pressure these men put on themselves to never slip. Toxic masculinity, meet your thesis statement. Then there's the Godfather gospel most quoted at office meetings and frat houses alike. It's not personal, It's strictly business. Cold, clean, ruthless, a masterclass in emotional detachment. That line has been used to justify everything from mob hits to corporate layoffs. And then the Don drops a little wisdom about priorities. A man who doesn't spend time with his family can never be a real man. Even while casually ordering a hit between bites of pasta, Don Vito manages to serve a family values TED Talk. Multitasking, mafia style. And of course, the line that became a lifestyle. Leave the gun, take the cannoli. An actual murder and a wife's errand handled in one smooth motion. That's efficiency. Legend has it, Richard Castellano, Clemenza himself, improvised that line on set. That's how iconic The Godfather is. Even the ad-libs became cinematic gospel. These lines stick because they're clean, cutting, and timeless. Every quote from The Godfather drips with meaning, and men especially treat them like wisdom from the mountaintop. And honestly, who can blame them? It's Shakespeare with bullets. So, why do men worship this movie? Power, loyalty, respect, revenge. The Godfather is a 5-course meal of masculine mythos. It's the fantasy of being feared and adored at once. Men love this film because it scratches every primal itch, being the protector, the provider, the one who calls the shots. It's not just the guns, it's the gravitas. And that hyper-masculine honor code, it's irresistible. Never go against the family. Don't ever take sides with anyone against the family again. It's not personal, it's strictly business. These codes give the illusion that even in chaos, there are rules. That loyalty, brotherhood, and respect still matter. And in a world that often feels random and unfair, The Godfather offers a version of control. A world where if you're smart, loyal, and strong enough, you can survive anything. Michael's transformation, that's the cherry on top. Men love a reluctant anti-hero, cold, calculated, brilliant. He didn't choose the mafia life, it chose him. Watching him go from golden boy to ice-cold chess master is weirdly cathartic. It's power, clean, controlled, and brutal. This isn't just a mafia movie, it's a tragedy. Don Vito builds an empire on favors and loyalty, but it costs him peace. Michael inherits that empire and loses his humanity. The women are pushed aside because the men are too busy destroying each other. If that's a boys' club, it's one built on blood and broken dreams. So is The Godfather Part 1 a masterpiece? Absolutely. But is it a celebration of manhood? Not so fast. It's a warning with good lighting, and we're just getting started. Because if you think this film was dark, wait till we talk The Godfather Part 2. Stay tuned. It only gets colder.